So, hi, welcome to a Joy Talk. Today, we're going to talk about schedules and routines. And I know for the average parent, schedules and routines can be a chore. But in my world, it's a way of life. We have to make sure that we are available and we have to make sure that we can maneuver certain things, but we have to have things in place first. And one of the things that I've always been known for was putting my kids to bed early, keeping them on a schedule. I didn't have a lot of problems with people keeping them because they were always on a schedule. So imagine if you have a child who has an issue with routines when things come out of place, and that's usually my little Julian. So, of course, Julian, he's not little anymore. He is 17. But at a younger age, he always had a time that was set. And let's just be honest. If you want time for yourself, you have to create a balance. You have to create boundaries. You have to set aside time for you and your spouse. And so we had a time that was set. So at 7 o'clock, understand we were already in preparation, getting things done, taking care of things, because if not, then we wouldn't have had any space for each other. We wouldn't have had that. Julian became accustomed so much to his body would just adjust to that. And so that's what you want. You want to create a boundary. You want to create balance. I don't care if you just want to read a book. Now you have the opportunity to do so because he's not running around at 9 o'clock or 11 o'clock. And I've heard several stories. And the first thing in my mind, I'm thinking, what are you doing to set boundaries? What are you doing to set aside time? And let me tell you, it took years. Don't think that it just happened overnight, but you have to be consistent with everything that you do. You have to make sure that you are consistent. You can't give up. You can't say, oh, I'm tired. There are nights. And I'm not saying that I haven't done it, but you got to keep doing it. If you fall off one day, it's like a diet. If you fall off, you got to get back on. If you're going to change it, instead of not necessarily a diet, because a diet goes on and off, but more so a lifestyle change. So if you really want this to be a part of your habits, your actual day-to-day routine, you have to practice it. And that's what routines are. Routines are something that you do daily. It's until the person or the thing that you need gets on a routine or gets used to being, moved in there. So that there's nothing new. Schedules are important. Now, I made play dates for Julian. We knew what we were doing every day. We went to the park every day. That was the one thing that I did do for him. And then allow him to release some of that energy because he had stimuli. He had stimming. He had those things, that he did over and over, like tap his finger on a table over and over. Or he did echolalia. And if I said, oh, Julian, don't do that, he would say, oh, Julian, don't do that. Oh, Julian, don't do that. Oh, Julian, don't do that. And I'm not talking about 1 to 2 times. I'm talking about 20 to 40 times. So I understand that. And after a while, I learned to, tune it out. That's not always a good thing. But in my case, at that time, I needed that. So it worked out. But understand, when you're doing your routine, set aside your priorities. What must you do, or what would you like your child to do on a daily basis? What is something that you gotta do? Is it, I'm working on bedtime? Am I working on feeding? Am I working on trying new foods? Then work that in. Okay, I'm gonna focus on bedtime. So you know what? Every day I'm gonna set my clock. And we set our clock like in 30-minute intervals up to 7:30. So I started at 6 o'clock. So I knew when that first bell hit, I knew, okay, I got another 30 minutes to wind him down. If it still didn't work, okay, let me do something else. I would try another skill. Sometimes it was just the bath itself, giving him a massage that relaxed him with lavender lotion, an actual lavender bubble bath that worked for him. Washing his hair was one of the things that he really loved. And we worked his hair, his shampoo inside of, in his hair and things, and it relaxed him. Sometimes warm water worked for him. He just sipped it. I don't know what that was. Don't ask me, but it worked for him. And let me put this disclaimer in there, and I don't know if I really have to, but I just want to let you know, this is what I do for my son. This is what works for Julian. If it works for you, by all means, use it. If it does not, then just try it. If it works, great. If it doesn't, we're going to keep work. I'm just letting you in my world. I'm just letting you know what works for me and my family and my son, and give you options, because I didn't have options. I didn't have anybody to say, you know what, this is what I do with my son. They were looking at me like, he has what? What does he have? I don't know what that is. What? Is that like a cold? I got that. Is it like a cold? I wish it was like a cold some days. But you know what? it's not a cold. It's something that he lives with daily. We're learning to live with it daily. As he gets older, y'all, it's different. When he was a baby, I had it down. I got it down packed to the routines were easier. But now puberty is here. Ooh, all of those things have come into play. And we're going to talk about that later. But right now, I just want to make sure that you understood that this is what works for us. This is what works for my baby boy. It does not work for everybody, but I hope there is something that you can take away from me. If it's nothing but just understanding that I am here for you and I understand and I support you wholeheartedly. And if there's anything that you would like to send me in private, please email me at joyofjulian, JOYOFJULIAN @outlook.com. Feel free to do that because I understand there's just some things you just want to dialogue or if you just simply want to talk about what you're going through and vent for a moment because everybody doesn't understand the world that we live in. So I understand. I've been there and there are days that I'm still there. Okay. So I understand that going back to the things that we did. So in 30-minute intervals, 6 o'clock we started. So I would start with the bath all the time. After the bath, then I would start to eat. I would feed him. Again, make sure he didn't want anything or he didn't need anything. Then we would do the bath. After that, then we would put on a movie. Oh, that was like gold, liquid gold, okay? Then right there, he was just like, oh my God, this is what he wanted. He loved it. He loved movie time, okay? And we would watch a movie. We did a lot of like the Disney movies, of course, The Lion King. It was really popular back then, all of that. So we would do a Disney movie, turn it low. We didn't want it really loud because it would disturb him. That's him there making a noise. Anyway, we would turn that on and that would work for him. And slowly but surely, and then I would just rock gently like that. And I know that might be a form of stimming, but what do we do when we want to put children to sleep? Hello, we rock them. So that's what I would do. And then sometimes I would massage his feet as I did that. And he was younger, and I'm telling you, and then he had this thing where you would do this here in his hand. Oh my God. He would just be like, yeah, and he loved it. So those are just a few things that you could do. Another thing, and so after those 30 minutes, we would put him in his bed. And then another thing, I love the music with the sounds of the ocean or the sounds of the birds. He would let me know if one was annoying. He would tell you no, or shake his head, or he would wave or something. He would let me know which ones he liked. And next thing I know, he would sleep. And lotion. I don't care what nobody says. The oils, the lavender put him to sleep. That put all three of my kids. They had that. I don't know if it's a boy thing or if it's just mine, but it works for them. So after that, 7:30, my child was out. There was no such thing as a child running around my house after 7:30. Definitely not 8 o'clock. It was either he was sick, something like that was bothering him. That's the reason why he would be up at that time. But Julian, he trained his body so much so that they would drift off, all of them. You would start seeing them get in their seat unless, they had a nap earlier. That's another thing. Nap time. If you want to schedule in a nap time. It doesn't matter that they don't, but they didn't go to sleep. But if you don't start doing it every day around the same time, you can't have it like 30 minutes. It's 2 o'clock today, 4 o'clock tomorrow, 6 o'clock the next day. No. If you can do between 2 and 3, that's nap time. If that's what you're trying to do, lay them down. Close the door or let them know. Get it quiet. It's quiet time. Don't start. I used to have headphones. They were the best. Headphones, put it on. And that way he knew there was no noise. He knew he was going to sleep. I wasn't entertaining him. He would be in the crib or he would come by me and I would say, where are we going? I said, nope, it's nap time. It's nap time. You have to remember you are in charge. You are the adult. Take control. You have to stand up for yourself. You must be the adult in this. You have to be almost like they say the aggressor, but not in a bad way, just more authoritative. So you keep putting them in bed. You got to outweight them. You have to outlast the child. And it's hard because them jokers they don't stop. Oh my God, they keep going. You thinking, okay, he done got up out of this bed 6 times. Well, guess what? You got to get up 7. If he gets up 5, you get up 6. If he gets up 7, you get up 8. You are in control, but you can do it. So understand that those routines that you set forth, I just gave you the one on bedtime. I'll be offering more. The routines for bedtime, that's what I would suggest. Start that timer. And even then, and you don't let them sleep till 1 o'clock just because it's good for you. You set a routine. We got up in the morning, we ate breakfast. Then we took another bath sometimes. That's just to calm him down because Julian he had super energy. His levels were up here. He was all, he wakes up in the morning like that to this day. 17 years later, that boy still gets up like the world is just, hi, I'm Julian, I'm here. That's him now. I love it though, because if I don't wake up on the right side of the bed, all I got to do is look at Julian. My Aunt Margaret always says, if you're having a bad day, go live in Julian's world, because he never sees a bad day. That's a blessing to me, because I do see the bad days. But if I have a bad day, I just adore his world, as far as he's just happy. And I take that as a blessing, because he has a lot of things that's going to be in front of him. So the fact that his attitude is always on point, always right, always willing and able to show a smile and be helpful and loving and caring, I'll take it any day. So I just thank you so much for joining me at this time. I hope you got something out of this. I hope that this helps you. 30-minute intervals, set it up, go from there. After you do that, try the lavender. That works. Try the soothing music. We're a jazz house. We listen to jazz. We listen to class. We listen to everything. But try the music, soft music. I love rap too, but you gotta do the soft stuff, okay? And you gotta be consistent. You gotta be consistent. And both of you all need to be on one accord. Don't allow one to say, well, I ain't gonna do it today, and you do it tomorrow. You can't do that. Both of you must be on one accord, or it won't work. And the people around you have to be on one accord. That's another video. But whoever's with you on your day-to-day right now, if it's your mom or your dad, whatever you're doing, make sure that they're doing the same. You have to work as a unit. You have to work and protect the village. All right? Love you much. Thank you for all the support. Maisha gets in with Joy of Julian. Bye.